Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ke25 Shop Shop. This week we're going to be working on the 25 again, but first I'll show you a video I took yesterday. Alright, so I've teased you enough. There's a 25. So what motor's going in this thing? That's probably the real question. So with great reward comes great sacrifice. Ke25 motor. So this is my Toyota Stout, and this project is going to come to a screaming halt and probably get put in the for sale pile because I want that. I want all of this and this and that in a Corolla. So I'm going to part this thing into the Corolla. This was always kind of the plan. I just kind of thought I'd get this finished before a Corolla came up, but I did not. So pretty sad about having to stop this. There's a few big hurdles left in this thing and I just can't justify it anymore. I have a truck, I don't need a ute. I have the mini Mog with the LS1, LS2 or 3 or whatever it is. So I don't really need this. This is a long way along. It might not look it, but it is reasonably deep into the project, but it's just going to be a better choice, better use of time and a better use of money to put all of this into the 25. So a bit sad about it, but it is going to give me a much cooler car. So if you know anyone after a Stout, it won't come with the beams and it will probably not come with much of the things that I've done to it. Hit me up. So it's got a mint interior, which is a bit sad because it's really nice. And there's a bunch of stuff that comes along with the beams. So I have a Link ECU, I have an AIM digital dash, I have the 6-speed gearbox, I have a bunch of stuff for this thing that'll go straight in the Corolla. So it's going to be a bit sad, but it needs to happen. I need to cut the projects down and get something finished. Just so you don't think I'm as crazy, some of the major hurdles include the massive crossmember chop, the lack of steering rack, the lack of oil filter, the rust, and the wiring, and lining everything up, and the untested brake system, and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot left to do on this thing. Why not put it in another car? Seems stupid, but let's do it. Alright, so when I say I'm going to fit this motor right now, I mean right now. So I've got it on some dollies, it's wheels around it pretty easily. Just going to get the engine crane to lift the car up, slide the whole lot back and see if we can lower the car onto the engine and see if the headers fit, which will be a good laugh because they're not going to fit. So it fits, kinda. So the guys that were building this before me, they wanted it as far back as possible. I'm not a huge fan of that because it makes it a lot harder than it needs to be. Like the ITBs are hitting, the fuel rails hitting, the heater core lines are hitting. The crossmember is still going to go back another probably 20 mil as well, or 10 mil. So it's a bit of a shit fight for no real reason. Whereas if we bring it 10 mil forwards from where it is now, it'll be a lot easier to fit. So not sure which way I'm going to go. I've kind of got all the mounts and stuff to suit it sitting back this far, but we'll see how we go. So my dad came around today and we got stuck into the shed and got a whole bunch of stuff organised. So we finished the mezzanine to start with, ignore this. So we've got the last beam in on either side now and we've got all of the uprights, so I've added 2 in each bay. So that's much stronger now and it's all finished, everything's fully welded and dynabolted to the floor. I got the engine out of the Corolla because that was only in there for a test fit anyway. And then last night I took the windows out and the front seats and all the interior and stuff. The back seat's still in, I have to sort that out. But this is the new workshop. So we've got the bench from Mum's place. I've got my toolbox on this wall instead. And then that's all bolts and stuff I need to sort out really soon. And everything under the bench except for the red thing, which is the bin, is Corolla stuff for the Ke25. So this is the beams, which needs to scooch a bit further, but I need to take it off the crossmember. I got my drill press and my vise from Mum's place. Got a filing cabinet, which has all my extra tools, my electrical toolbox, got all of my so grinding stuff, zip ties, tape. All my toolboxes are like organized and back together. Got a nice little spot for the jack, temporary spot for the engine crane, and this stuff either needs to go upstairs in the mezzanine or get sold, because I'm not keeping any of this stuff, but I currently don't know if it's going, so that's got to go. And then the engine crane needs to find a new home, because I'm going to get another set of these map drawers down the road, and they're going to go right there. So I'll have another nice bench here. And then we got a few more things I need to sort out. This is my ladder that I need to make to replace this one. And then that stuff is tools I need to sort out, and I need to sort out that thing as well because that's full of tools. And then we got my press from my mum's place. So this thing's really cool. It's I think it's a 1970s Italian press. Can't remember what brand it is. There you go. I think it's really cool. It's like 60 ton or something, 40 ton, so ridiculous. I put some wheels on it so we can scoot it around. And I got the two bikes dug out, so these are both going to go in the mezzanine. This one's for sale if anyone's interested, but they're going to go in the mezzanine. I'm going to put the engine back in the mezzanine because I'm not going to use that anymore. The two 1Js, they need to get sold. I need to fix the forklift, and then we got a few more things I need to sort out, which will be going in the tool garden shed when I get it organised. Got the welder over here for now because I don't have anywhere else I can put it. And then all of this stuff has to go upstairs, but I have to sort it all out first. This is a bit more Ke25 stuff, and that's a box of rags. So this half of the shed is super organised right now. Most of the drawers are empty, which is awesome because I've got all of this stuff. So I've been collecting all my stuff from Mum's place. Might be a bit hard for you to see, I'll try and turn on the flash. So I've been collecting all my stuff from Mum's place. I've got probably 1 or 2 more trailer loads to go. They're like shelves of bumpers and these wheels for the crown, which they're amazing and I love them. So yeah, just more tools, more steel, more everything, engine cranes, engines, chrome trims, bolts, everything you can imagine. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, boy. Alright, so as you can see, everything's a bit cleaner now. So it's time to build a frame for this thing to sit on. So most of the interior is still out. It's exactly as it was in that video you just saw. So what I want to do is get this thing about 2, maybe 3 foot off the ground and have some caster wheels on it so that I can scoot it around, spin it around, turn it, lift it, whatever I need to do. Crawl underneath it without any issues. It's not going to fall on me or anything. Can slide the engine in underneath and then lift it up. I can do the diff swap, I can do access to the fuel tank and all that sort of stuff, the boot floor, all the underside of the car for building the tunnel, etc. So gonna just try and get that started today, hopefully get it finished actually, but so there we go. So what I'm going to do is build a bar that goes along the bottom of the sill panel and comes down and has a whole bunch of braces obviously, and then goes across and then back up, back, down, across, back up. So heaps of bracing obviously, and then wheels on the bottom. So hopefully it should be pretty simple. This thing doesn't weigh a whole lot, so we should be alright, but I'm going to get started on that. So I'm just going to draw it up and measure some stuff and then start cutting. Okay, so as you just saw, I've cut up all the metal. Well, not all of it, but most of it. So this is my little drawing here. So the sill of the car is going to go along here. I need to do something on the top to stop it from sliding side to side and back to front. But for now, it'll just sit on there. And then it's going to come down 500. So this is 50, and then 500, so 550, and then 50 on the bottom, so 600 total, plus the wheels, which are 130. So it'll be 730 in total, which gets the front rad support a bit over 800 off the ground, which is up here somewhere, which means I can slide the engine straight underneath the front rad support, which is what I'm after. So I might be 5 or 10 mil out, but that'll be alright. Hopefully more than less, but we'll see how we go. So I've got a cutting list here, got the two 1300s to go across, we've got 4 500s to go up, we've got two 1600s to go along the sill, and then we've got the 4 wheels obviously. I need to make 8 braces, so I'm going to do a 45 on either end and then weld in like a gusset. So if you imagine something like that and then a gusset through here on a 45. But I'm going to build everything else and then do that because I've only got a little bit of metal left. I've got that one and one more 3.2, so that's about 1600 there, and then I've got another double that. So I've got plenty, but I don't want to stuff it up. So I'm going to start welding this stuff together and then get a rough frame going, and then I'll brace it all in. So that involves me going to the shop to get a battery for the welding helmet because everything's going flat around here lately. No luck at Coles, but I got lunch from the bakery. I'm in M's car, by the way. J car for the win. Got the stupid little batteries, but first I'm gonna have lunch. Alright, so we've got 2 hoops done. So these are going to go under the sills. These are 1600 long and they're currently 550 tall. So these are going to go along this pinch seal here. Probably not the greatest idea, but like I said before, the car weighs pretty much nothing, and I'm going to make some stuff to stop it sliding around and it'll be fine. So now I've just got to do the 2 1300s or whatever they were across. So I have to do it on the floor because the workspace is a little bit small. So they're the 2 1300s there, they're already clean, ready to go. So chuck them under there, get everything square, get everything even at the top so that the sills are obviously parallel, and make sure these are parallel. And then once all that's welded, we can put some wheels on it. Alright, so we've got that frame all welded up. I've left these 2 top bars on with clamps for now, just until it cools down. Try and stop it from warping as best I can. It's pretty well welded anyway. I'm reasonably happy with the welds actually. I haven't built anything for a long time, but some of them are pretty good. So pretty happy with that. So now I need to make some little pads for the feet, for the wheels, and then also the little corner bars. So they're going to go from there to there on every join, so up here as well. So the next thing I need to do is make these little pads. So just going to cut some of this flat bar up into however wide that is, and then drill these out for bolts. Make 4 of them, and then they can go on each of the corners here, and then I need to make the brackets. So just drill these, cut them out, get some bolts happening. So this thing's coming out pretty awesome, I think. It's a bit yeety. If you breathe on it, it kind of moves, but that's why it has wheel stops. And when it's on flat ground, it'll be right. That corner's dipping. So yeah, that's it pretty much. I'm just going to do the corner braces and then try and get this thing on it, which is going to be a bit terrifying, but that's a problem for slightly later today. So I'm going to make 8 of those braces. So I'll work out what material I've got left, measure up, make sure I can get 8 out of it, and then start cutting. We are getting somewhere now. 8 of the similar, they're not the same, they're very close, but close enough. These are all the braces, so playing with these. Kadunk, something like that. And then the same here. And then on all the other corners. So I need to put the flap disc back on the grinder and just smooth these out a little bit. Take some of the paint off so I've got something nice to weld to. And then weld them on. The rains are here again. Gosh darn it. Like you have a shed. Alright, all of these are sanded and ready to go on. So now I've got to put all of these onto there, tack them all in place, and then fully weld everything. So I'm probably going to ignore this hyperlapse because my phone's almost dead. So just imagine me doing that and then it'll be done right now. Well, that took probably an hour and a half of just solid welding. So there's 8 joins, 2 ends, so that's 16 ends, 4 on each, so that's 64, and they're all 2 inches long, so it's like 124 inches of welding, 128 inches of welding, and then some of them are diagonal, so they're a little bit longer. Whew, that was a big job. It's done. So now I'm going to try and put a car on it. Wish me luck. Alright, so I got the Ke25 on the frame we've been making. It is a little bit back heavy and it kind of wobbles a bit, but I will weld it to the frame later, which I can quite easily. So Ronnie's just got here, he doesn't want to be on camera, but we're going to 3D scan all of this stuff and I'll show you how that works. 3D scan all the engine bay and all underneath, and then he can put it in CAD and start designing stuff.